Today, we're looking at why fixing everyday products became so expensive that replacing them often feels like the only option. Because sometimes the product is not really dead. One tiny part failed, but the repair system around it makes you buy the whole thing again. Imagine your washing machine stops working, not because the whole machine exploded, not because every part inside it failed. Just one small part breaks. Maybe a pump, maybe a sensor, maybe a little plastic valve that costs almost nothing compared to the full machine. So you think, easy, I'll just fix it. But then the real problem starts. The part is hard to find. The repair manual is not public. The machine needs a special tool. The company does not sell the small piece separately. A technician costs hundreds just to inspect it. And by the time you add the call-out fee, labor, parts, waiting time, and uncertainty, suddenly the repair is almost the same price as buying a new machine. And that is the hidden system. The product did not really die. The repair system failed. This is why so many things today feel disposable. It is not always because companies secretly put a timer inside every product. Sometimes it is simpler than that. The whole system around the product makes repair annoying, expensive, slow, and risky. And when repair feels harder than replacement, most people replace. That is how a $15 part becomes an $850 new machine. Older products were often built in a different world. They were usually heavier, simpler, and easier to open. If something broke, a repair person could access the inside, swap a part, and keep it running. The product was expected to be maintained. But modern products are often built for speed, cost, appearance, and upgrades. They are lighter, thinner, more sealed, more electronic, more software controlled, and sometimes more difficult to repair than they need to be. A phone battery dies, but the phone is glued shut. A laptop keyboard fails, but it is connected to half the body. A printer stops working, but the cartridge system controls everything. A washing machine has one faulty component, but the repair costs make no sense. This changes the way we think about ownership because technically, you own the product. But if you cannot open it, cannot get parts for it, cannot access repair information, cannot replace the battery, and cannot afford the repair, then your ownership is weaker than it looks. You bought the object, but the company still controls the repair path. And that repair path decides whether the product lives or dies. This is why the phrase planned obsolescence gets used so much. People feel like products are designed to fail, and sometimes that may be true in a direct way. But often, the more powerful version is indirect. The company does not need to make the entire product fail. It only needs to make repair less attractive than replacement. If fixing something takes too long, costs too much, or feels too uncertain, people will buy new. Not because they want to waste money, but because the system pushes them there. And from a business point of view, replacement can be very profitable. A repaired product keeps the customer using the same thing. A replaced product creates another sale. That is the incentive problem. Durability is good for the customer. Replacement is good for the company. So unless the market rewards long-lasting products or laws force repair access, companies often have more reason to make products cheaper, harder to repair, and easier to replace. And this affects more than money. It creates waste. A machine with one broken part can become landfill. A phone with a tired battery can become electronic waste. A product that could have lasted 10 years gets replaced after 4 or 5. And the strange part is, many people blame themselves. They think, maybe I used it wrong. Maybe I should have bought the expensive one. Maybe this is just how products are now. But often, the consumer is trapped inside a design system they never agreed to. The product was designed a certain way. The parts were controlled a certain way. The repair information was restricted a certain way. The pricing made replacement look more sensible. And by the end, the customer thinks they made a free choice. But the choices were shaped before the product ever reached their house. This is why right to repair matters. Right to repair is not just about people wanting to tinker with electronics. It is about whether normal people can keep using the things they already paid for. It means companies should make parts available. It means repair manuals should not be treated like secrets. It means independent repair shops should be able to fix common problems. It means batteries, screens, sensors, pumps, and basic components should not require replacing the entire product. Because when only the manufacturer controls repair, the manufacturer controls the lifespan. And when the manufacturer makes more money from replacement, there is an obvious conflict. Now, not every modern product is bad. Some new products are safer, smarter, lighter, and more efficient than old ones. Technology has improved in many ways, but improvement should not mean disposability. A product can be advanced and still repairable. It can be sleek and still maintainable. It can use software without locking the owner out. The real question is not whether products should be modern. The question is whether modern products should be allowed to become disposable by design. Because the future should not be a world where every small failure becomes a full replacement. A broken pump should not mean a new washing machine. A dead battery should not mean a new phone. A worn-out part should not mean the whole product is finished. If companies want to sell us expensive products, those products should be built to stay useful. And when they break, repair should be a normal option, not a punishment. Because the most frustrating thing is not that products break. Everything breaks eventually. The frustrating thing is when something breaks in a way that could be fixed, but the system makes fixing it feel impossible. That is why products feel worse now, not just because they are weaker, but because the path to keep them alive has been made weaker too. And once repair disappears, replacement becomes the only road left.